Hello, my name is Grace Quinn. I'm in Early Childhood Education 2201 Exceptionalities with Professor McCoy at Chattahoochee Technical College, and this is my final exam voice recording PowerPoint presentation. The competency areas I've selected are within this slide, which are define the teacher's role in working with individuals with special needs. A teacher's role while working with children who have special needs is to support them and to continuously work towards enriching their educational careers. Teachers need to be able to form relationships with the families of the students as well. I think this is very important, and I think that this class did a very good job in educating different ways and strategies to ensure that this is happening. Another area would be identify examples of changes in societal attitudes toward individuals with special needs, including examples of people-first language. While in the classroom, it is important to help children without special needs understand appropriate language to use for their classmates with special needs. This also includes making the classroom inclusive with opportunities for children to interact regardless of disabilities, which I will touch on more when going over the 3 disabilities that I chose. The last area would be discuss ethical issues related to quality of life and the right to education. Discrimination still occurs, and when facing students in your class, it is a teacher's job to ensure there is no worry obtaining appropriate education. Treating children with disabilities as just that, children, is the most beneficial thing towards their confidence. You also must enforce the disability acts enacted to fair and equal education and opportunity. Education and advocacy. When becoming a teacher, I think the possibility of having special needs children in the classroom can be brushed over. For example, I had not thought of the likelihood of this before taking this class, thinking of all the children I would come across with different skills or disabilities. The thought of this scared me because I felt unprepared to be able to teach these children not knowing how to enrich their lives or how to adapt to their needs. Throughout this class, I have learned a lot regarding special education and what is expected of special education teachers. Creating an environment for children to feel equal in is important to their education as well as their positive school experiences. As a special needs teacher, you will also need to adapt to the different disabilities of your students by observing what they struggle with and what strategies work for them. I had also thought about the possibility of having a child with undiagnosed special needs and what to do in the event that I have to act on it and involve administration and the families. I now know that there are certain steps I need to take if I suspect a child has a learning disability not yet diagnosed. There are also things I can do during planning to ensure the child is being supported and given fair opportunities. I have seen examples of 504 plans and ways to involve the families into the decision-making process for the betterment of their child. It is important to me to understand every student's needs and to cultivate a relationship with them and their families. I have also learned strategies for introducing different language and phrases into the classroom to ensure no one is made to feel like an outcast and everyone is respected in the classroom. Navigating all of this will no doubt be stressful and filled with different challenges, but I think from this class I will be more prepared than I was before. ADHD, the type of disability, attention deficit disorder, hyperactivity. An adaptation that I would use is allowing children to stand or sit as well as providing more creative seating rather than normal chairs, allowing the child to do what makes them feel most comfortable and able to focus better rather than them fidgeting at their desk, wanting to stand, or being reprimanded for standing or walking around if they need to. 2 assistive technologies. On a smaller scale, I would offer students fidgets to help them focus their minds and give them something to keep their hands busy. There are many different types of fidgets, which I've put a picture of to the right, and I think it would just benefit overall most students who have difficulty focusing on one thing and keeping their brains focused while their hands are still busy. The second assistive technology is tablets with audiobook software to help the children to be able to focus when having time in the reading center. Each book in the center will have an audiobook counterpart option. A learning activity for a student with ADHD needs to be focused around engaging the student. I think a great lesson would be having the students pick their favorite stories and rewrite the ending with different endings that they come up with and different ideas that they could then intertwine with the story that they know. Deaf or hearing impaired, an adaptation I would use for a deaf or hearing impaired child would, to be the class would learn together different common sign language phrases to use with the student or students who are hearing impaired so that they can feel included and comfortable. This will also help children learn more about the disability and normalize it without it feeling like an outcast or an odd man out in the classroom. 2 assistive technologies. An assistive technology I would use in the classroom would be a stoplight that has a red for eyes on me, yellow for finish up what you're doing, and green for keep working on what you're doing. The addition of the lights would help hearing impaired students notice when there is a change in activity, which of course the rules and the labels for each color would be explained at the beginning of the year. Another assistive technology I would utilize is FM systems, which I just recently learned about, which is where I would wear a microphone that would go directly to the hearing impaired student to maintain understanding throughout the lesson, so that they would, especially right now during COVID with masks, I think that would be very helpful in addition to the classroom. A learning activity I would use is providing the hearing impaired child with pictures of everyday objects or recognizable animals and having them state the name that could help them gain speech skills that are delayed in learning or maintain their progress. Blind or vision impaired. An adaptation I would use would be to have large textbooks in the reading center, large text books in the reading center, as well as magnifying glasses for the students with visual impairments to use. This is to keep the option of reading in play and to ensure that the child is not discouraged from reading when it can be very difficult. 2 assistive technologies. An assistive technology I would use is a smartboard. This way the child with vision impairments can interact with their classmates while being able to see the things on the screen because of its large scale and options for text to speech. And this would also normalize everyone playing together and being able to interact together without any barrier of a very clear assistive technology. Another assistive technology I would utilize would be a Braille label maker to help the child locate things in the classroom as well as learn a daily routine at their own pace. This makes it more obtainable to gain confidence while in the classroom. The learning activity would be, as a class, we would make a 3D poster with different textures and feelings to engage our senses besides sight. We would design it based off of a book we were reading in the class, much like a flannel board, except the poster would be 3-dimensional. And this is my reference page. Thank you.